never had that issue where it says I've reached my max recording. Okay. 2 new words, and you're going to love the fact that they are named in a way to remind you of where they are, right? I've said it before. Mathematicians, when they name things, they get your earpods out. Mathematicians, when they named things, they named it in a way that really helps you remember like what it is or where it is or how to do it. We have 2 new vocab words on here. They are angle of elevation and angle of depression. And it is exactly what it sounds like, okay? Angle of elevation. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to draw an angle, draw the ground right here. So if you're looking out to the ground and you elevate your head, then your head would be tilting up. So the angle of elevation is formed when you look out at the ground and then you tilt up.
What do you mean look out at the ground?
Like, well, you just look out in the distance and you're on the ground.
Oh.
That's what's important. You're on the ground. So you're
Just
looking
so
straight
like,
out.
You're not lying down or anything, just looking
Right.
straight, like what you're doing.
Right. And then you would tilt your head up to look at, say, the top of a building, the top of a flagpole, a bird in the sky, a plane in the sky.
Superman.
Those are all the types of problems. Yeah. I want you to write right here, think, write small, elevate means go up. Think, elevate means go up.
Like elevation.
Fine.
No, because an elevator goes up and down. Elevate's like
Stop. Don't think elevator. Think just elevate. If you elevate something, if you hurt your foot and they say levitate.
It's elevate.
Elevate your foot. You hurt your leg, your ankle, and they say elevate it. They mean lift it higher so the swelling will go down, right? That's what it means. It means get off your feet and lift your legs so that the swelling would go down.
Elevate.
All right. Okay. Stay with me. Angle of depression. This one is slightly more difficult because of where it lands in the picture, but I'm going to show you a way to remember it and never get it wrong. Angle of depression always starts from what's called your line of sight. Notice I'm at the top of this space. It starts with your line of sight, and then you would, y'all ever heard of seasonal depression?
Yeah.
Seasonal depression is a clinical term to describe the overall theme when time changes and it gets dark at 5:30 now and it's cold outside. So you have what's called seasonal depression sets in because there's less sun, less outside time. So when you think of all the cartoon commercials when someone's depressed, their head is where? Down. So I want you to think of a line of sight, like everything's fine, and then the time changes, and now we're all depressed because it's dark at 5:30, right? Okay, so angling your head down would be the angle of depression. And I'm going to put think, depressed, because of time change. I hate time change.
Can you just put like think of
You could just think,
seasonal depression?
yeah, you could put think seasonal depression. Okay. Yeah, y'all can write whatever makes you depressed there. I won't take offense to it.
Much detention.
The timing of that was perfect. Okay, so now here's a really cool relationship. You might be thinking, oh, she's teaching 2 new things. You got angle of elevation, you got angle of depression. There actually is a relationship between them. What do you notice about the ground I drew and the line of sight at the top. What? They're parallel. The ground runs parallel to any line of sight, no matter where you are, right? So because the horizontal lines that we just talked about, the ground and the line of sight, are parallel, if you think about it, I'm going to draw this and then I'm going to erase it. You've got line of sight, the ground. Then what do you notice about the angle of elevation and say the angle of depression? Close. Alternate interior. The angle of elevation and the angle of depression are always equal because they're alternate interior angles. So if you ever have a word problem that gives you the angle of elevation, then they've also given you the depression. If they give you the depression, then they've also given you the elevation. So let's take some notes. The angle of elevation will be equal to the angle of depression because these angles are considered alternate interior. And then right here you could draw like a little picture. You could draw the ground, just draw one angle. So you got here, this congruent to here. All right, now what we're going to do is pick up our trash off the floor that has food in it, and then we're going to work through these word problems. You need to know that these word problems all involve what picture? What shape have we done this whole time? What type of triangle? A right triangle. Some of them are already labeled for you. Some of them are not labeled and you have to sketch a picture. Okay? There are 2 of these on the test tomorrow.
Oh my God. Yay. How many questions was this?
20. The rest is find the side, find the angle. Alright, look at number 1. A car is driving down a hill that's 500 feet long at an angle of elevation of 32 degrees. To the nearest foot, what's the vertical distance covered by the car? Okay, first of all, there's a picture. But second of all, let's talk about it.
Are you using tan?
Cars driving down a hill. Hill would imply it's the hypotenuse, right? Cars driving down a hill. It tells us the angle of elevation is 32. The angle of elevation, by the way, is always with the ground. You never put angle of elevation at the top, ever. Because it wouldn't make sense, right? It's at the ground, and then you elevate it. To the nearest foot, what's the vertical? What direction is vertical? Up and down. Which is why I'm going to call it X. Why X is right there. This is your basic trig, and we're finding a missing side. So label your triangle to know which trig function to use. Some of you are still struggling with this, so watch. Draw an arrow from the right angle to the hypotenuse and put an H there, if there's something there. There is in this case.
I've got it. 4, 5.
Then ask yourself, how is the X positioned to the 32?
Opposite.
Which trig function is
Sine.
opposite and hypotenuse?
Sine.
So set it up and solve. Well, okay, so we need to talk about what it says. It says to the nearest foot. Do y'all know what that means? Is that like it means whole number? It means to the nearest whole number. If it had said to the nearest centimeter, millimeter, yard, mile, that means go to the nearest whole number. So we would elbow arrow the 500 over to the front. Did you get?
265.
Yep. Alright, let's go to number 2. You're standing 35 feet from a billboard. Do y'all know what a billboard is?
Yes.
When you're driving down the interstate, those big signs that are advertising things, those are billboards. Alright, you're standing 35 feet from a billboard. The angle of elevation from your position to the top of the billboard is 58. How tall is it? I want you right now to draw a picture and label it with that information that they just gave. And then let's see if we draw the same picture. Now, am I actually asking you to draw a billboard? No, I'm asking you to draw a right triangle. Now, it might help to label, like, you know, where you are, where the billboard is. I hope y'all are with me. I'm getting concerned. You're 35 feet from it. You have an angle of elevation of 58 degrees. It says, how tall is it? So now you got to know where to put the X as well.
Okay, so with 35 feet in the hypotenuse.
Yeah.
No.
Already got the
Or
answer.
the base?
No.
The base? Yes.
Part would be the hypotenuse.
If you're describing how far you are from something, wouldn't it be the shortest distance between you and the something?
Yep.
Which would be the...
No, I was thinking of like looking at it. Like,
No, it doesn't say that you... It doesn't say that you looked 35 feet in the distance. It says you are 35 feet from it. So, we got a billboard, right?
Oh.
Little miniature court right here. We got a billboard. We got someone standing how far away? Where's the 35 go? The bottom. Where's the 58 degrees go? By the person, because it said elevation. Please don't put 58 degrees on the outside of the triangle. Right? I know it's hard to draw a picture from the blank page, but if it's an angle, it goes inside the triangle. And there's only 2 possible spots. And because it says elevation, it goes in the bottom to imply that you would be looking up. All right, and then it says how tall is it, which means my X is here. So which trig function is this? Tan. And again, it does say go to the nearest foot, which means whole number. Well, let's all say it as class. What did we get?
56.
Sorry. 56 feet. It is 139.
See?
150, y'all. Let's go to the next one. Construction worker is building a ramp to make transportation of materials easier. The picture is already drawn. Please solve it.
Wait, run it. Oh, God. Who did?
got it.
Notice the picture does not have X placed. You do have to read it and figure out what it's actually asking you to find. It says, how long does the ramp need to be? Where would that be in my picture? That would be the hypotenuse.
Oh, well,
You're wrong.
What?
It was 16 feet.
I told you so.
Right? I mean, you gotta know what a ramp looks like. Ramps lean. The ramp's not down here, then there's no point in the ramp. It's on the ground. The ramp's leaning. Which trig function did you use? Sine. how long does the ramp need to be? We'll just go to the nearest whole number. What'd you get?
16 feet.
16. Okay, listen, I'm going to turn you loose. I don't mind if you get a partner. I'm going to, listen to me. I'm going to write the answers on the board, and I want you to write them down so that as you're doing it, you know if you're getting it right or not. Because if you're getting these wrong, you need to come see me. Okay? 9 and 10 are extra credit. And as I say extra credit, there's no actual points involved. Oh, I could make points involved. Yeah, 9 and 10 are extra credit, okay? But you have to show all of your work. And I will tell you there are 3 steps on each of them. So you cannot just show me your answer and expect to get that extra credit. All right, so here's the answers.
Can you just write the equation?
No, I need to see the work.
Okay.
Oh, I need to see your trig function. So this one is, let's see. I'll just write it right next to it. 7.6 miles. This one's 3.2 miles. This is an inverse one. You have to be careful here. Look at this one. You lean a 20-foot ladder against a house. So that's the hypotenuse. The base of the ladder is 4 feet from the wall. So that's the bottom. What angle does the ladder make with the ground? Which means you're finding the angle down here. So this is an inverse trig problem, and you should come to 78 degrees. Or, well, 78.5 degrees. All right, write those, and then I'll go to the back and tell you those answers. And then y'all can work.
Dude, I'm gonna hurt you. Like, you gotta stop.
Are you writing the answers?
I thought you wanted us to write down the right answers. I thought we were supposed to do it ourselves.
On the back, let me zoom out. This is 65 degrees. This is 111 feet. This is 17 feet. These are extra credit, and you have to show your work to get it. You have to show your work. There are 3 steps involved, and it's really actually not that bad, so I would encourage you to try it.